sports talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing so y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Hey, boxing, some MLB news. No. So NLB, right? The Negro League Boxing News, you know what I'm saying? Um, we got a little one of our coming to be chairmans up there, but everybody can't be chairman of the Negro Leagues. Louis Real King, Kong Ortiz, and Demetrius Andre, they're the chairman. But hey, we got a whole lot of members. And in the lightweight division, it's got to be Devin Haney, right? Devin Haney, Devin the Dream Haney, we know what time it is. Man's still undefeated, raising havoc, and it's being avoided pretty much almost unprecedentedly, right? It's ridiculous. But here's something that happened in the lightweight division, because the lightweight division, we try to act like, we got a Fab Four. Remember when we had what was it for? What it was, Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney, and no, Lomachenko wasn't in there. We had Gervonta Davis, Devin Haney, Lomachenko, Ryan Garcia, and who was the other one? And one other one, Teofimo Lopez, right? Now that's they're calling them, six. Six of them now, because you got Isaac Cruz and Gervonta Davis, Lomachenko, all of them in there. So it's about six good lightweights or whatever. But to me, regardless, it's Haney, Devin Haney, and the rest of them. That's what it is for me, from how I see it, and how you should. Because Devin Haney, there's literally not been a lightweight of significance that Devin Haney hasn't tried. Officially tried, where you can find out tried, not like insider information tried, openly tried to fight, right? We have instances where he's the mandatory for Lomachenko, and Lomachenko decides not to fight him and brings this franchise title into the lightweight division and brings all of this confusion. You have Teofimo Lopez, who beats Lomachenko and doesn't want to fight this man for undisputed. Why wouldn't you want to do that? It's mandatory. Ryan Garcia wouldn't do it. Right? Wouldn't fight him. Gervonta Davis ain't in a rush to do it either. Right? There's just too much going on. George Kambosos now, who's in one of these 5, 6, or 7 or whatever, right, going on now, because he beat Teofimo Lopez, he's reluctant. That's ridiculous. That's awesome. Everybody can ignore that, and people do, and the media is helping, which means it's a sinister reason. Why would somebody not celebrate? We have a guy that was 20 years old. Since he's been 20 years old, all of these mainstays and great fighters are not getting close to this guy and finding reasons to not fight him. Yeah, it's like Demetrius Andre's style. But anyway, one of these guys who didn't want to fight him, mind you, his mandatory, who didn't want to fight him, Ryan Garcia, right? Good fighter in his own right, but we haven't seen him in a while, and he's the Instagram king and all of that stuff. When it comes to fighting, every time it's a hard fight, something happens to him. So he has to rebuild his reputation. But doesn't stop him from talking now. He's made his rankings of the lightweight division, right? And he's got Lomachenko number 1, George Kambosos number 2, Teofimo Lopez number 3, and he said, hey, don't matter between Devin Haney and Tank Davis 4 and 5, whichever one. They both had lackluster performances in their last fight. So he's got, and he feels comfortable with saying that. Now, that shows you the climate that we're living in right now, where a person who is the mandatory for somebody and won't fight that champion as a mandatory is feeling comfortable coming out saying, giving a ranking in the first damn place. He should be, I'm talking about so shut up, somewhere shutting up. That's what he should be. Wherever he at, somewhere shutting up. I'm not going to mention lightweights until I get back in. Until I actually fight again and get back in. My comment shouldn't be, no one should really care what I'm saying right now, because the last time they heard about me, I was going to fight Javier Fortuna and I couldn't, and I didn't. I was going to supposed to fight Devin Haney because I'm his mandatory, and I didn't even ask for him. So that he's even making a list and somebody's writing about it is a damn shame in the first place, right? So he should be irrelevant right now. Right? But George Kambosos, he's in the mix for George Kambosos. He shouldn't feel comfortable saying stuff like that. It should be embarrassing for him to say anything like that. But he's like, hey, the WBC president made a franchise belt, couldn't explain it, made a franchise belt out of nowhere. It was, a la Charlo belt. Because Charlo was dangerous, that's what it really is. And basically it's a Negro League belt. Keep these people away from these Negroes. That's what that belt is. Devin Haney was one, that's why Loma got it, and Charlo, Canelo, that's how he got it, because he didn't want to fight Charlo. It is what it is, right? It is what it is. But Lomachenko being number one, guys, right? Lomachenko has lost twice, right? He's a 3-division champ, and he's a bad dude. But to be the best lightweight right now, when all of these people who say this stuff, this is why they're playing chess, people. This is all saying Lomachenko's number one, Lomachenko deserves this and deserves that, because I've told you guys what's going to happen. Everyone is trying to make sure that there's reasons for Lomachenko to fight Kambosos. And when Lomachenko fights and beats Kambosos, then they're going to call him undisputed and never look back at that title that Devin Haney has. That's why Mauricio Sullivan's coming out claiming that George Kambosos is undisputed for no reason, instead of just saying, Kambosos, you and Devin Haney fight, but they don't want to do that. Devin Haney could possibly win. So let's just call Kambosos, right, undisputed. Let Lomachenko fight Kambosos. Everybody, we're all in it. That's why Ryan Garcia understands what he's saying. You know, Lomachenko's number one, Kambosos is number two, right? Even Tio got the brothers way at 4 and 5, meaning that no one has to fight them, or especially not no Devin Haney. No one got to fight him, even though he has a belt. And he didn't avoided them. So all of this is in play. And this is what's supposed to be going down. But listen, guys, we don't really give a damn about what's being said. Focus on the fact that all of these fighters that we're talking about are very, very, very good fighters. All of them, right? And all of them don't want to fight one guy, right? Because you can get embarrassed. You look at Devin Haney's record, you see a whole lot of unanimous decisions. Whole lot of them. You know why? What are unanimous decisions? Unanimous decisions mean I beat the hell out you up over a whole bunch of rounds. That's more embarrassing than I've told you, it's more embarrassing to lose like that than getting clipped. Because you can, after clipped, it's like, hey, I made a mistake. But being beat up over 12 rounds means there's no reason to fight you again. That's what that means. A knockout, you can come back, hey, I can come back from the knockout. But getting dominated over 12 rounds means I'm better than you. And everyone knows it. That's the difference. That's the whole thing. That's why Canelo's not going to fight Andre. That's why. Those people can embarrass you over 12 rounds. There's no rematches, right? Marquez told you after fighting Floyd Mayweather, there's really no reason for me to get back in there and fight for him. I'll beat up Pacquiao again. Me and him have close fights. I fought Mayweather. He's obviously way better than me. Way better. There's no reason for me to even be thinking about it because, wasn't nothing going to happen no matter what. Right? That's the difference. That's what the key is. These fighters, Lomachenko, number one. He ain't gonna fight Devin Haney. He proved it by getting the franchise title when he didn't have to. It was your mandatory. Just fight him, beat him, and Teofimo Lopez beat Richard Comey. Then we have, one fight, one undisputed. No, I'll vacate my belt, and what franchise is a glorified vacating belt thing. It's like, hey, you're going to vacate because you don't want to fight this guy, so we have to glorify it, right? What was that all about, So we glorify it and give you that. I ain't going to fight him there, and I'm not going to fight him after I lose to Teofimo Lopez, and then I can fight him again, so then I can have an undisputed fight with Teofimo Lopez. Forget that belt that Devin Haney has, and the key is everybody call it something. Email champ. Some people say that, but email champ to me says I'm racist. I know the facts, but hey, I can say this. I'm a racist person. Because you're not, if you know the fact, you know how Devin Haney was rolling. Devin Haney didn't do nothing wrong. Everyone knows it, right? Everyone knows it. Everyone knows it. Everybody's finagling and all that. Anybody who finds me knows the truth. So if you come and you know the truth, and you know that this young little dude hasn't done anything wrong, and all of these people are ignoring him, but you like that, yes, you're a racist, and you're not even a good person. Get it together, right? Because we're talking a sport here. Don't ever forget that. This is supposed to be a sport. It's not supposed to be about where he's from and how they look. It's a sport. The best should get in the ring with the best at the end of the day. If you don't like that, then you're into something else. And you don't like a whole bunch of other stuff. But at the end of the day, we want to find out in every division who the very best is. Not just anoint people and have them avoid these people the whole time and then still call them the best. So what you're seeing in Devin Haney is some unprecedented kind of stuff going on when everybody surrounding him will not fight him. So what Garcia says is Lomachenko's number one. Yeah, he has a reason for saying that. Like, listen, you'll hear Lomachenko beat Linares in his prime. Devin Haney fought Linares when he was old and washed up. He fought him three years later, right? It's not that long ago. And as a matter of fact, Linares was on a three fight win streak, and had one loss. Went 3-1 after losing to Lomachenko. Had Lomachenko on the ground, didn't he? He rocked Devin Haney, but he had Lomachenko on the ground. Lomachenko, though, to his credit, he beat a Linares who was on a 11-12 fight win streak. Okay, let's make sure that's clear. He beat a Linares in good form too. But Linares wasn't just washed after Devin Haney, before Devin Haney. Now that's not true either, right? And he got dominated. Right? How many rounds he went against Devin Haney? What, 1 or 2? So the man is handling his business. Yeah, they're trying to put him down on these pound for pound lists or any kind of list. Or you see this list that Garcia's having. Well, so if Tank Davis is number 4 and Devin Haney's number 5, or vice versa, then maybe that's probably who you should be trying to fight. Then Garcia, because Garcia would get the most money fighting Tank or Devin Haney. So maybe since they're ranked behind a George Kambosos and ranked behind a Teofimo Lopez, maybe you want to go get them. Let's see what happens. Doma Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.